Hey, switching gears, President Trump says he's likely to support ending a blanket federal ban on marijuana. All rise. Judge Andrew Napolitano is here. Judge, this is huge. I mean, this is a combination of states' rights, right? I mean, to a degree, and also a major move for an administration that we thought was going to be really tough on weed.
Yes, and in fact, Attorney General Jeff Sessions, of whom we were speaking during the break, has returned the Justice Department to a very proactive, very aggressive prosecution of growers and distributors of marijuana, even in states where it is lawful. So here's the backstory. In the Obama administration, President Obama and Attorney General Holder told the attorneys general of states where it is lawful, either for recreation or medicinal purposes, the feds are not going to come in. Right. You guys decide what's lawful and handle it on your own. That's a lot of states. That's about half the states. When Jeff Sessions became Attorney General, he rescinded that. So Donald Trump could do this one of two ways. He could say to the Congress, I don't know if he's going to get a Republican Congress to do this, but he could say to the Congress, remove marijuana from Schedule A. That's the schedule of drugs that is prohibited for all purposes to possess under any circumstances, unless you're a licensed laboratory that experiments in them and you have a federal license for it. There's about 29 or 30 of them. If he can't get the Congress to do that, he can say to Jeff Sessions, reinstate the Eric Holder decree. That'll go against everything Jeff Sessions believes in, but it will keep the feds from enforcing federal law, even though it will still be on the books and available for some other president and attorney general to enforce.
But I think he's saying that this Cory Gardner bill, which is backed by an eclectic mix, right, of Republicans and Democrats. You got Bernie, you got Republicans, you got Elizabeth Warren. And I think
you have libertarian Republicans, Mike Lee and Rand Paul.
Right. So you got this eclectic mix in there, and I think what it means is that, I mean, I think people are happy about it, but if you looked on Friday or Thursday, Friday when the news broke, the marijuana stocks didn't move because you still have the issue of banking. Right. Yes. So if it's still on the books, banks still won't touch it because you can't transfer this money.
That is a problem, and the president understands that. Can I tell you what community will rejoice if marijuana, and this will surprise you, if marijuana is removed from Schedule A? Law enforcement. Yeah. Law enforcement really has more important things to do. And I'm talking about NYPD, cops in the street in any major city, and FBI. That's the last thing they should be diverting their energies to now. In the District of Columbia, marijuana is lawful for recreational use. You could light up on the floor of the House of Representatives if you wanted to.
So between this, the Alice Johnson commutation, some of the things we're hearing, are you surprised? Does it feel like President Trump is revealing a libertarian sort of stance here, or something that, to me, I think appeals to more millennials? It appears to more non-traditional Republicans. I think it could ultimately be a good thing for the party. But what do you think? I mean, it's amazing to see this play out.
I am surprised, but happily so. The libertarian in me says you should be able to put into your own body what you want. We're talking about adults in the privacy of their home. We're not talking about people while they're driving. We're not talking about giving it to children. We're not talking about using it in public. I mean, you no more smoke marijuana on the streets, theoretically, than you would chug a gallon of scotch on the streets, even though both are lawful and private in certain places. But for a Republican to do this is somewhat startling. You know, the president doesn't fit a mold.
Right.
There are certain guideposts, like he's always the smartest person in the room, but he doesn't, I say that with respect and affection, he doesn't fit a libertarian, progressive, conservative, liberal mode. He just presses the buttons that he thinks will work. He's a very practical guy. He also knows it will save law enforcement billions, with a B, not having to enforce this.
Very quickly, what about the banking system? We have where the states where it's legalized.
No, that's what we're saying. You can't bank it
even states where it is legalized.
But there's massive amount of cash being kept in storage.
It's a cash. Correct. It's a cash business right now, Judge.
Correct. So that will help the banking system. Yes. Big business pretty soon.
Thanks a lot, guys.